Thank you, Mr. Chair. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, dear colleagues and friends, I welcome the opportunity to have this critical and timely exchange with all of you. Through 2024, I led a year-long campaign which has generated an unprecedented multi-stakeholder mobilization, triggering strong global political commitment to end violence against children. This culminated in the first ever global ministerial conference on ending violence against children in Bogota on 7-8 November 2024, hosted by the governments of Colombia and Sweden alongside WHO, UNICEF and my mandate. Representatives from over 120 countries actively participated and hundreds of pledges were made outlining concrete and context-specific action that will be taken to accelerate efforts to end violence against children. The Pathfinding Global Alliance on Ending Violence Against Children, launched at the conference, has united 42 member states and continues to expand rapidly. It supports the sharing and acceleration of concrete action to end violence, including through the development of a marketplace for knowledge sharing. During my country visit and engagement with member states, I continue witnessing many good examples of how states are increasing investment to end violence against children despite various challenges. To further support the investment case for ending violence against children, a toolkit will be available in the coming weeks to facilitate the assessment of the cost of violence against children, but also the returns on investing in violence prevention. During my 13 country visits across all regions and through my engagement with more than 31 member states presenting their voluntary national reviews in 2024, I was encouraged by the action being taken to strengthen national and local child protection systems. I have continued engaging closely with hundreds of civil society organizations, faith-based organizations and religious leaders, including through co-organizing the 6th Forum of the Global Networks of Religious for Children. Catalyzing private sector action has been another priority for my mandate, particularly in connection with the tech industry and the travel and tourism sector. As chair of the Interagency Working Group on Violence Against Children, I have continued to support coordinated action by the UN system on tackling violence against children. I cooperate closely with the SRG for Children and Armed Conflict, the CRC, special procedures, and other UN bodies. As chair of the UN Task Force on Children Deprived of Liberty, I continued supporting states through documenting and sharing alternatives to deprivation of liberty. Through my co-chairmanship of ICAT 2324, child protection has been integrated as a cross-cutting priority in addressing trafficking. In 2024, I also engaged directly with over 2,730 children from various backgrounds and regions. Their views were key in defining my office's new strategies. Excellencies, my report today focuses on the alarming increase in trafficking in children and the urgent need to end this crime. According to the latest global report on trafficking in persons, children account for 38% of victims detected globally, with a significant increase among girls. Trafficking in children intersects with other forms of violence, and children often experience multiple forms of abuse and exploitation before, during, and after being trafficked. The consequences of trafficking on children's family and entire communities are devastating and long-lasting, resulting in an intergenerational cycle of violence and social exclusion. Excellencies, this complex crime is driven by three interrelated factors that must be addressed simultaneously. First, children's vulnerability to trafficking is worsening worldwide. Poverty, food insecurity, humanitarian crisis, conflict, forced displacement, violence, along with social and gender inequality, further drives the increase in this crime. Second, trafficking networks are growing alarmingly and more organized. These crimes are also being facilitated by evolving digital technologies. Artificial intelligence is used by traffickers to enhance existing transnational criminal activity by reducing costs, increasing revenue, and reducing the likelihood of detection. Third, demand for exploitative services of children is on the rise, such as for sexual exploitation online and offline, domestic servitude, child marriage, recruitment into armed groups, forced begging, and forced criminal activities. Conviction for trafficking in children remain low, and perpetrators continue to enjoy impunity. Corruption, stigma, fear, and the lack of protection limit children's ability to report and seek justice. As a result, trafficking in children remains a low-cost and low-risk, yet high-profit crime generating billions of dollars annually. Excellencies, as outlined in my report, many actions are undertaken by states and other stakeholders at global, regional, and local level. But despite these efforts, responses to trafficking in children are not evolving fast enough to keep pace with the evolution and scale of the crime. But ending trafficking in children is urgent and possible if we invest more in social and child protection systems, including in humanitarian contexts, and if we strengthen accountability to end impunity of perpetrators. Evidence-based solutions exist and are outlined in the ICAT call for accelerated action to prevent and end child trafficking. The implementation of this comprehensive and coordinated action, which addresses the multifaceted nature of this crime, is key to ending child trafficking and violence against children by 2030. Involving survivors and children at risk safely and ethically in the design of anti-trafficking response is also essential to effectively eradicate this crime. Excellencies, let me conclude with the powerful words of a girl I met recently who was a victim of trafficking. She told, "There is no justice. I am locked in a shelter while the abusers are not paying the price. It is unfair that they are not caught." This call requires an urgent response, so we need to act better and faster to put an end to this crime. Many thanks for your attention.